Low-key black and white photography is the name of the game today. Hi, I'm Westcott, and welcome to another episode in the Visual Art Photography tutorial series. Now, today, this project, you have to be a little bit patient. I have to be honest with you, this took me about an hour and a half to get the final result that I wanted, but it was well worth it. And you know something, that's what photography is all about. Experimenting, trying new things. And sometimes things can be serendipitous and you actually may find things along the way that you weren't expecting. Anyway, I'm going to take you through all of the steps it took me to get to the final result. Stop time photography. Black and white, low key. It's all there. It's going to be a lot of fun, and I think it's a project that you may want to try. We're going to need a few things for a project today. Hey, little cappuccino, anyone? So you need a cup of some sort. It doesn't have to be exactly like this, but it's up to you. You're going to need some sugar. Okay? You're going to need some of that. And also, you probably, not necessarily, but you probably will need some type of a remote release. Now, I needed that because I'm doing this project alone. Now, you may have a friend or some type of an assistant that can help you out with this. You kind of need, 3 or 4 hands on this project, so it helps me. And I'll take you through. If you're doing it alone, you'll see how you can do it very easily by yourself. All right, first, there are a couple of setups that I'm using. The first setup looked like this.
So here's that basic setup with a light off to the right. It's low, it's at an angle to create shadows. Also, you'll notice the corner there of the black background that I want. And I even put black velvet on the table. I just wanted everything to be really dark. Now, of course, I'm going to be underexposing this grossly for a low-key effect, sometimes between -3 and to -5 underexposure value.
And some of the images that came from that look like this. So as you just saw there, I wasn't getting exactly what I was looking for. It may be something that maybe appeals to you, but it wasn't what I wanted. I wanted those sugar crystals to be stopped in time. And really, the best way to do it for me was to use flash. So let's take a look at the flash setup. And this is where you maybe need an extra set of hands or maybe a tripod. Here, take a look.
First off, I want to point out that I'm going to be shooting all images at between -3 and -6 exposure value because I really want it to be dark. And plus, I have all of that black background and black tabletop, and my camera is going to want to overexpose, so I'm compensating for that as well. But I really do want the image to be dark. All right. Now, I've placed some lens cleaner in the middle of that coffee cup. It could be anything, just any kind of an object that I'm auto-focusing on because I want to set my focus. Now, once I've set my focus to the middle of the cup like that, I take my camera off of autofocus so that my focus is locked. Okay, so once my focus is locked to the middle of the cup, because that's where I'm going to be pouring the sugar, I want to grab my remote release. I'm doing that right now. And then I'll go to the sugar and I'm going to pour that into the cup. And as I'm pouring it into the cup, I'm going to fire the remote release, and we're going to have some flash that's going to hit it and stop motion. Now, the only thing is that for that first shot, my flash was on camera. I'm using a macro ring flash. It could be any kind of flash, doesn't have to be that. But the reason why I like the macro ring flash is that I can take it off of the lens and put it on that tripod because it's like a donut. So it just worked for me really well there because my regular flash that I have, I don't have a stand for it. So this worked for me. You may have a stand for your flash, or you may have an assistant who can hold the flash to the side. I didn't have that at this time. Now I'm going to take the shot all over again, pour the sugar, fire the flash, and there you have it.
So let's take a look at some of the images I got using this system. And of course, I got my final image, the image that I was really looking for using the flash.
So the first one here you've already seen, minus the clutter in the background as I've cropped in a little bit. Shot at 1/640th of a second. It wasn't what I was looking for. And this one, too, wasn't what I was looking for. Shot at 1 1/160th of a second. Now, maybe that's something you're looking for. Maybe you want to have the flow. It's not what I wanted. I wanted stop action. And so I went for that, and I got it. Now, for me, I wanted to see those grains of sugar individually, and you can see that here. Yet, for me, there's still something missing. This was all about low-key photography, darkness, and of course shadows and where they're placed is so incredibly important with something like this, and I actually felt like I was in a little bit too tight here. It just didn't feel right to me, and there wasn't really a lot of context for that sugar coming from the top. I tried something else. I backed off a little bit. I changed the angle. I got up a little bit higher and less sugar. So it was almost like a fairy dust effect, if you know what I mean. And I kind of liked that. But still, the lighting, the straight-on lighting from the flash, from the ring flash, which was just pushing the light straight on, it left me cold. It's not what I was looking for. I wanted something a little bit more dynamic, something a little darker, if you know what I mean. So I brought the camera down lower again, and I put the spoon in. I included that in the shot for context, so you could see what was going on. And I kind of liked it, but again, I felt like I was in a little bit too tight, and it just wasn't the feel. I was getting close, but it wasn't exactly what I wanted. Until I moved the flash, as you saw, off to the side. I placed it on the tripod, and I got exactly what I was looking for, which was deep shadows on one side. And you see the handle, that's in shadow too. And even the plate that the cup is sitting on has beautiful shadows, and you can see the contours in it, and you can even see into it and see the grains of sugar that are on that as well. And you have the spoon, the context, you have all of each individual grain just sparkling out at you as the light hits the sugar. It's what I was looking for. It will be really interesting to see how it works for you. Now, this last one, it's the same thing, just a little bit closer. And you know something? Every time I keep on going closer, I just keep on wanting to go back a little further. I think it's just me wanting the photo to breathe a little bit more.
So using a dark background and with a low-key photography effect and using some flash, you can stop those grains of sugar cold. And that's the effect you get. I'd really be interested if you gave this one a try. Hope you enjoyed the tutorial. It was great bringing it to you. And until next time, I'm Westcott, reminding you it's not what you see, it's how you see it. And I'll see you soon.